Well,
Hi.
team news, please. Latest on Saka, Saliba, Trossard, please.
Not a lot. We haven't had obviously a lot of players. It's the first training session we're gonna do together today, and we will know more after the session.
Did the international break come at a good time for you, do you think? I mean, it was such a great win for you, great atmosphere afterwards. But did you want to continue or did you like the break?
When you're in a good run, you want to continue, but it's what it is. We have used it in the right way. Obviously, we have a lot of players in duty, and connect everybody with the same mindset and go, because we're going to have a really difficult game against Chelsea.
Just looking back on that match, a quick handshake with Pep Guardiola, but I hear he gave you a message after he spoke to you. What did he say?
Nothing, as usual. You know, we have lost quite a lot against them, and when you win, obviously, you get congratulated. It was an important game. It was a beautiful day for us, and we move on. It seems like ages now.
Yeah, absolutely. Your neighbours are currently top, but ultimately, do you still feel it's a two-horse race between yourselves and Manchester City, or do you see other teams involved?
I don't have a clue who is going to be involved. We want to be there. That's the only thing that I know. In order to do that, we have to be perfect, and the league is so demanding. You see it every single week, and I think it's very, very open.
And how much are you looking forward to the game tomorrow? So it's always an entertaining one, Chelsea, isn't it? Chelsea.
It's a big game, and we know, and there is a big history between the two clubs, and the type of games that we have played against them. It's a very different one, I think, this season. I've been really impressed by Chelsea. I think they deserve much more than what they got on the table. I think what Mauritius in a really short time, it's phenomenal, and we're going to have to be at our best tomorrow.
I bet Kai Havertz is excited to go back, isn't he?
And Georgia as well, I'm sure they will be. They were there, they talk really highly about the club and everybody there, so it will be a special day for them.
I just wanted to talk about an article I read yesterday on Aaron Ramsdale. He said he feared for his England place if he doesn't win his place back in the Arsenal side. How do you approach that? Do you try and give him more games, or does he just have to win his place back? It's not easy for you.
It's not easy for any player when he's not playing as much as he would like to, but the only way to do it is to work harder, to show the passion that you have for the game, to contribute to the team in a different way, and when you get the opportunity, do your best and try to help the team to win the game.
Finally, a club close to your heart. Rangers appointed a new manager this week, Philippe Clement. I know how much you love the club. Do you want to make a few comments?
I wish him the best, and hopefully he can deliver again what he's done in other clubs, because he has a phenomenal career already. So wish him all the best, and hopefully we can get the club back to where we want. Thank you.
Roger from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Just going back to the Manchester City result, a lot of people were saying at the time that would be a massive psychological step for Arsenal to get that win under their belts. Is that something you can genuinely feel around the place since then, and just getting the players in over the last couple of days? It's something you can take into the Chelsea game?
Well, that's the last experience, the last feeling that we had between us, and it was a beautiful one. You could sense in the atmosphere the importance of the game, and the way we won it and how we competed against that team. But it's just a game, and now it's about having the consistency and keeping the standards very, very high, because the next game against Chelsea is going to be even harder.
Chelsea themselves, difficult start to the season. They've won their last 3 in all competitions. Was it always a matter of time for Chelsea that, with the players and the squad that they have, that things would eventually start to click? Or do you think it's too soon to say that they've turned?
I think when you look, first of all, the manager, the coaching staff they have, the history at the club that they have, and the players and the squad that they have, is going to happen. I think it has happened pretty quickly. Not only the last 3 results, I think, as I said, again, I think they deserve much more in terms of points and results than what they already have. So you can see that they're going to be up there.
How difficult has it been to prepare? Obviously, the players have been away, internationals, you've had injuries. In terms of putting together the team that you'd want to send out on Saturday, have you got an idea in your head, or is it still a matter of, I'm going to have to see where we are going right up?
I do have the idea, but I have to see them all together today, how everybody is, because we have a lot of people traveling around the world and with a lot of minutes in their legs, and I want to have and judge what is the best for tomorrow, not only in terms of what I want to do tactically, but how is the energy, how is the mood, how is the spirit, and in order to do that, I'm going to have a better clue after the game, after the training session today.
Thank you. Talk
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Well?
Very good.
Chelsea have been this season. They've spent a lot of money over the last couple of years, but they haven't bought an out-and-out striker, an out-and-out number 9. In a sense, they're playing different players in that position. you started doing that when you were at Man City. You've done it a bit when you're at Arsenal. In terms of not having an out-and-out striker, can you explain the bonuses of that from a managerial perspective?
Well, I think having players with different qualities give you different options, and always as well is related to the opponent. What behaviors do they have, and what are the players you have around that 9? You have midfielders as a wingers that they only come to feed, and a 9 that wants to come to feed, and attacking midfielders that are more holding midfielders. Then you don't have any threat. You have a 9 that wants to come attacking midfielders that are constantly threatening the last line. Proper wingers there. Then it becomes a different threat. If you have players in the last line that can progress the play, do you have players in the last line that can link to those pockets to often make the runs and attract central defenders? It depends a lot of the qualities of other players. You can't just isolate the 9. You have to see the whole thing, how it connects, and what kind of threats and things that you do. For sure, if you don't have a big 9 inside the box, you lose something. If you're going to start to crossball with your fullbacks, you're going to have probably an issue. But there are many ways to attack, and depending on the opponent, obviously, maybe that option is better than another one.
So in those sort of systems, are the midfield players like, for example, a Havertz or an Odegaard, as important as the guy who's right down the centre, or is it more the players like Martinelli who is approaching 100 games for Arsenal?
I think it's the combination of those qualities, and there are certain ingredients that you should have as a team to attack well, and it's not only the 9, but it's many other players.
Finally, you don't know if Bukayo Saka is back this weekend. You won't know till after training. England are now qualified. Would you like to see, from an Arsenal point of view, maybe him getting a little bit more time off internationally, as we all know he's going to play in the Euros next summer, so that you have more options to use in this season, or do you think that's unrealistic?
Well, I don't know how they're going to approach it. Obviously, when our players are fit, we are really happy to let them go to the national team, and we always done that. And the players want to go, and I think it's a great fulfillment and opportunity for them every time they are there. So if players are fit, they're going to be available to be taken.
He's seen as the jewel in your crown and the jewel in England's crown as well. We don't want him to burn out this season.
No, you don't, but you don't know the balance. But you ask the players, sometimes they feel much better when they are playing every 3 or 4 days. They can get a knock, they can get an injury. This is part of the game.
George,
hello, Mikel. Does Saka want to play tomorrow?
I'm sure he wants to play, yes.
He told you he wants to.
I don't see any player there that he doesn't want to be in the starting 11.
On Saliba, can you just explain what the injury is? It an injury to his big toe? I mean, it sounds like it's quite a rare injury. And is that a reoccurring problem? I mean, could this basically plague him till the end of the season, or is it just a one-off?
Hopefully not, but obviously he's been carrying that for weeks now, and we have to use that time as well to settle, and we believe that it was the best moment to do it.
So is he a doubt for tomorrow, or do you...
Depending again how he's able to train today.
Just in terms of Chelsea, I think when you took over at Arsenal had a bit of a problem with winning away against rivals, and you've turned that around. I think you could beat Chelsea 4 times in a row. So have you just got better players now? Is the mentality going away at Stamford Bridge? You're now favourites. How's that all come about within the squad that they can go there and win?
I don't know. It goes, I think, game by game, and tomorrow they have a really strong squad. They play at home. We have as well. We're in a good moment. We try to play better than them and beat them, and that's it. And what happened in the past, it doesn't really matter.
And just a word on Pochettino. Have you had much dealings with him over the years? What do you make of him as a manager and a person?
Well, first of all, obviously, it was my first professional opportunity in Paris, and we just arrived at the same time. We lived together in a hotel for 3 months. He was critical. He's been one of the most influential persons in my football career, first of all, as a player. Without him, he took me under the arm like this, and he looked after me like a little child, a little brother. And it was a big part of the success I had in Paris. It was because of him, because he really looked after me, gave me a lot of confidence, a lot of advice, and he's been a role model for me since that day. Not only when I was a player, but as a manager as well, because we have to make the decision to leave playing and start my coaching career. He had a big say on that, and I will be always grateful to what he's done for me.
Have you had dinner since he's been back in London?
Yeah, we've seen each other a couple of times, yeah.
Okay, go to Mark and Pierre.
Just on that, when you did retire as a player, there was talk that you might have linked up with Maurizio. Was that something that was ever close?
Probably that was because of our relationship, but I had various opportunities to go, and I didn't know, and I wanted his advice, obviously, and his experience, and that was very important for me as well to make the decision that I made.
When he came back and went to Chelsea, that is a bit of a poison chalice at the moment, Chelsea job. But do you think with his experience and what you know about him, he can turn it around then?
Yes, you can see already that something is changed very quickly.
James, see this?
Mikel, I'd like to ask you about your penalty takers. You've had 5 different takers of your last 10 spot kicks in the league. Do you have a set hierarchy? And if not, because it seems not, what goes into the decision about who takes the penalty?
Well, there is one, but then they have surprised me as well this season. I already told you, so I don't really know who is going to take it. And sometimes when I see there and someone is on the wall, I'm still doubting. They have the freedom to do it. They practice a lot, and it's what they decide on the day is the best thing to do.
Would you ever consider getting rid of the hierarchy and making it a bit more unpredictable, not just for your players but for the opposition goalkeepers?
Well, it's a very particular moment, and it's very related to game state and what you've been doing and how you feel emotionally and confidence-wise. So I don't like to get too involved in there. There is some preparation, obviously, and there are certain players that if they are in contention to take that penalty, the practice has to be there. That's the only thing that I demand them to do, and after that is their decision.
Simon from the Evening Standard.
Hi, Mikel. Just with Bukayo, with obviously the busy period coming out, particularly that festive period, how beneficial do you think it will be that he's had sort of 10 days where he's not been playing, given how much he plays?
Yeah, but he's been working so hard there to be fit for this game, and let's see where he is at today. So yeah, he had a couple of days off that he needed as well, but the rest, unfortunately, as well, is not being rest for him because he needed to do the trimming and train and get ready to be able against Chelsea.
You talk about young players and burnout, and do you sometimes, do you as a club or you as a person have to say to them, look, you need to stop playing for a bit because they want to play every week, and sometimes you need to control a player burning out?
Yeah, obviously it's our responsibility to monitor them, and but as well it's about relation to the days off that they get, you know, and the way we train, and can we take certain parts of training out, because it's not only about the minutes when they are on the field, because sometimes we want to rest them there, but we ask them to be 3 hours on the field. We're not making them a big favor. So there is some balance there, but at the end, you know, when you want to be a top player, you have to be able to play every 3 days and play 65 to 70 games. Is what it is.
I was going to say, you said that last season as well. Do you still feel that, even with sort of Bukayo's struggles now, that he needs to play sort of 65, 70 games, or has it changed the way you think you need to manage him?
No, I think we have to play when we see that he's in the right condition to play as well, you know, mentally, physically, and that he's performing. He needs to deserve to play. And that's another story. But so far, when he's played that amount of minutes a game, is because we believe that he was ready to cope with that.
Okay, last couple in the live section. James from The Athletic.
Hi, Mikel. Obviously, it's still early in the season, but Arsenal have been really defensively solid in the last few games, not giving up a lot in terms of chances. But maybe, if you're looking at the figures from last season, it seems like they've sacrificed a little bit in terms of what they're creating in open play. I just wondered, is that a deliberate shift of emphasis from you? And is that something you considered in the summer, trying to be more solid, more structured, and focus on the defensive side?
I want to concede nothing and create a lot. So that is not planned for sure. Obviously, we know that foundations to win games, where it's coming from, and keeping the amount of clean sheets that we kept in the last 7 games, obviously, that's very important to make the right step. But we want to attack better. But when you do the comparison of other teams that they created more, you can't just isolate through 90 minutes. It's game state. There are periods as well. The scoreline has a big say when those expected goals have shifted. And against who do you play against? That's another one, you know. And in 8 games, the comparison is not easy to do. And as well, a lot of teams are defending with really low blocks. So open play is something, but set pieces are not something very different to a game. It's something that is connected. So it's as important to be able to do that, because against low block, we're going to generate again more free kicks, more corners than we did last year. So that's going to have an impact. So to attack well, you have to attack well in various areas, because that's the moment that the opponent can open up.
One factor that might help, I suppose, is we've barely seen Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli on the pitch together. How excited are you to get that trio back on the field, and do you think that could make a big difference?
Yeah, obviously we had injuries and we had the availability that we have, and we miss other players as well in midfield that are very, very important. But I'm sure we'll get them back. And it's about being able as well to win and continue to perform in the right way when those players are not there. And now we're going to have the opportunity to see them, I'm sure.
James from ESPN.
During the international break, Jack Wilshere had an interview with Colorado Rapids over their head coach position. How concerned are you about losing him from the youth setup?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy that Jack is part of the setup. I think he's done really well. He's brought something that I think was very necessary in the academy and around the place. And these things are going to happen when people are doing well. He's going to get attraction, and then it will come down to him to make what he believes is the best decision for his career.
He's obviously got ambitions to be a manager one day. Do you think way down the line he could be sitting in your seat?
Yeah, but way along the line, you don't know when that is. It can be very soon. You know, it's he's got the potential to do it. I think now he's clear in his mind why he wants to do it and the reasons why he wants to do it. And I think it's a big asset for the club to have him here.
And just on Maurizio, you mentioned his influence on you. You said you spoke to him when you finished playing. I just wondered what his advice to you was.
Don't go into coaching, it's too hard. That's the first thing. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, now what are the options are? Yeah, I could tell, but I knew he was going to be a coach, and I follow him very closely, obviously, because as a player, he was already a leader. The way he understood the game, it was phenomenal, and I used to have him in my back, and he was constantly coaching me, and yeah, very proud of what he's done, and the way, especially the way he's done it through his coaching career.
Do you think as a result there are similarities with the way you set up your teams because you're so close together?
No, I think in a lot of sense we are different. He had some big influence in his career with some coaches, especially one that he had that marked his career a lot. But in general, I think we have a lot of values that are very similar.
And Kevin from China TV.
Hi.
Kevin from IT China. So in the last few seasons, I think we spoke quite a lot about Arsenal team lacking a bit of maturity. But this season, I think we've seen a change. Are you confident now that you have a grown-up and mentally mature team at your hand?
Yeah, but that maturity is linked to what? You know, to our results. So if that day you play in a really mature way but you don't win, then we will say that it's not too mature. So I don't pay too much attention of that. Is the way we compete, the way we behave, and the mentality that we have to show regardless on that. And yes, I see an evolution, not only this season, but the season before as well. I saw a big shift on that, and certainly we can still improve.
In the big game on Saturday, is it more important for the players to keep their heads?
Sorry?
In a game against Chelsea away, is it more important for the players to keep their heads?
Keep their heads?
Yeah, to be
focused, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be better than them as well. Both.
Okay.